Hey, you, how you doing? Now, I was talking to you about, how UK and US travel must, continue, or, how there's a conversation around the continuation of this, right? Now, this is Relax Radio. I'm Tim. I'm your host on the Buzz, and I'm talking to you on everything business, tech, entrepreneurship. I've got more conversation around the UK tech companies and how the government is, putting a message out to, the companies that are able to, push to IPO. And this is basically going to continue, encourage, higher GDP or performance in the stock market. So I'll get back to you right after this quick video to explain about a little bit about, how and who we are and what we do along with Relax Radio. I'll be right back with you right after this. That is right. You can download the app. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You name it, we're on it, right? We're here to keep in touch with you, to connect you and update you on everything you need to be updated on. Now, we are talking about everything business here on the Buzz, business, tech, or even entrepreneurship. And I've got a cool mix up here in terms of, I mean, this is one of my favorite topics right now. So, London is basically calling a wave of UK tech IPOs to aim to disrupt an underperforming underperforming stock market, right? And basically to talk about how UK is seeing a bit of a blitz in the IPO part of promising tech industries, right? So because of the fact that there is a decent pipeline in terms of how many tech companies are looking at or are able to push themselves to the IPO stage, right? Now, London's old economy, heavy stock market is talking about how this trend could basically possibly, I mean, positively rather, transform this heavy stock market. Now, for years, basically, the world's hottest tech firms went public in Hong Kong, New York, Frankfurt, and even, just I'd say leaving London outright. Now, this is basically keeping everyone relatively up there, but then, at some point or the other, we need to keep up. So it's just a matter of understanding how we have a lack of relative tech DNA, and this might, basically be a stay-at-home tech call for anyone that drove epic global bull rallies, right? So now London has definitely missed out on a little bit of this, but the government is talking about how there is a push towards this, and how the tables are turning, how there is financial capital in the London Square Mile, and even how basically there are predictions about the fact that within the start of this year, or even the next quarter, there are tech bonanzas that are looking at hitting IPO, right? And with this, they are looking at a single golden decade for the UK technology industry. So this is pretty cool because I mean, my personal opinion is how tech is basically pushing people to get to the next point, right? I mean, we on the Buzz have been talking about cool industries, even if it is women in business, if it is different mixers in different industries, and then a mixture of tech as well. How people are starting to learn to integrate it. If it is if it is mental, if it is physical, if these are issues like migraines, if it is things like cyberbullying, how AI is also getting integrated into providing solutions online. Right now we know that there is a ton of content out there, so it's just a matter of understanding, okay, which industry do you want to get into, and how can you put the ideal team towards it, and even push yourself to solving a big problem in there. So it's not just limiting you to the local market, it's just a matter of pushing yourself to a global scale, and then that way investors see possibilities, investors encourage possibilities, and encourage a lot of growth as well, right? So talking about how about a year ago, or in the first 2 quarters of this year, the UK tech and public exchange, public listings industry have basically spoken about a natural destination for technology, and the internet consumer companies basically are a possible, opportunity for these companies. Now talking further about artificial intelligence and then fighting cyber threats. These are, like I said, a couple of the conversations or the solutions that people are actually looking at integrating with the companies that are looking at going public in the London Stock Exchange. So talking further about this, there is a particular deal seen to value these companies, and this is just a study of one company, right? And the name of the company is called Darktrace, and this pushes its valuation. It's just a valuation, and it's a possibility for them to go up to £5 billion valuation. And if these hit IPO, it's going to get a lot of market value. It's going to get a lot of money in the economy moving as well. So talking about how in the next online pension provider, it is special that the initial market capitalization is up to $530 million. But when it lists itself on the London Stock Exchange this month, the Nanpo Technologies in Oxford have basically focused on a handheld DNA sequencing device that basically it tracks the coronavirus variants, right? And this is from my perspective, my personal opinion, right? There's so many personalities, or there's so many companies that are coming out with. This wasn't just a conversation a year and a half ago. Last March we suddenly went into lockdown, and ever since then people have been investing thoroughly into solutions. If it's from the tech, if it's from tracking, if it is from logistics, so many industries have been integrating themselves with tech to counter this pandemic or lockdown, right? It's super cool to see this. Now this is another chip that Oxford Nanpo Technologies have basically developed, a handheld DNA sequencing device. So this basically, like I said, tracks coronavirus variants. It's set to float around in London in the second half of this year. Although the vaccine is coming out, you need, I'd say, at least till the end of this year, or there's rumors that at least till 2024, that there will be conversations about how the COVID vaccination or vaccination campaigns, and even threats of new variants might still be around in the atmosphere, or in different countries, right? So talking further now, payments group called Wise, there is a more than $5 billion valuation given to this Darktrace, right? Now Darktrace alone is looking at directing their listing on the stock exchange later this year. So this is just one of the companies that are looking at coming on IPO. Now, if I'm going to mention a few more names, there's a company called Moonpig, right? Now they talk about, these are basically around online greeting cards, and there's another company on the lines of Trustpilot. Now these are online reviews as well. So Deliveroo, now this is food delivery, and Darktrace, now like I said, cybersecurity. This is at $5 billion. Now Deliveroo is hitting a valuation of $10.5 billion, right? And PensionBee is the highest so far. So these guys are in online pension providing, and they are valuating themselves between $475 to $530 million. Now, Oxford Nanpo Technologies, like I said, biotech, they're valuating themselves at $3 billion. And these companies are set to hit their IPOs in the middle of this year. Like I said, in the middle of this year. Now, that's in the second quarter as well, right? So these are obviously being encouraged by the government to push themselves onto further onto different platforms, or push them to different possibilities, getting global. Now I want to hear what your opinion is on the conversation here. I want to hear what your opinion is on our companies going public, our tech companies going public and pushing for that increased investment in the stock market. Now it's just a matter of you calling us up on 07852 473 473. That's 07852 473 473. Now, you can also comment on our video. You can share our videos. Just let us know what your opinions are. I'm Tim. I'm with you all the way till 8 p.m. on the buzz. This is Relaks Radio, and we're on every channel, if it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and even Twitter, right? So just let us know what your thoughts are on these conversations, right? So I'm going to be right back with you with more topics on, how tech optimism is looking at a 7-year high recovery hope, and how this is looking at pushing their further their performance in terms of increasing the tech conversation down with UK. I'll bring this back right to you on the buzz. This is Tim, and I'm your host all the way till 8 p.m.